Good afternoon, and welcome to this memorial service. There was a slight technical hitch in getting started, and our apologies. We're a little late starting, but so glad that you're here and part of this service. My name is Catherine Darby, and I'm one of the chaplains at the UHB, which includes the QE Hospital where I'm standing, Heartlands, Good Hope, and Solihull Hospitals, and community. Together with Joga Singh, my Sikh colleague, and a team of people, we welcome you to this service. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We come to give thanks for those we have loved and cherished, who in this past year have very sadly died. Patients in the UHB, beloved family members and friends, and some colleagues and members of staff. It has been a devastating time of loss for so many families, and we are here to gather and support one another. As we share in this service, there will be readings and reflections and music to unite us all in this time of remembrance. We will hear from Jackie Smith, the chair of the Trust Board, and Lisa Stally-Green, the chief nurse of the Trust. We will also have a short personal reflection from Azim Sulman, who is a member of the Trust Faith Advocacy Group. Please do stay with us at the close of the service when Andy Langford from Crew's Bereavement Care will outline further support that is available for you. We are very grateful to be partnering with Crews for this service. Those taking part and those sharing today are a diverse group of people. We gather from many different cultures, traditions, and faiths, perhaps of no faith, but we come together as one community, and it is a privilege to share with you all. Wherever you are, in your home or as a member of staff working in the Trust today, whether you are on your own or with some family members, as you bring your experience of sadness and grief and any burden of suffering that you may be carrying, I hope that you will feel connected, for you are not alone. Although this is a virtual service, we can still be present to one another, and I hope find strength and comfort and courage to carry on. So may you feel surrounded by compassion and love in this moment and in the days to come. I now invite my colleague, Joga Singh, the Sikh chaplain, forward to lead us in the candle lighting.
We invite you now to light a candle for the person you are remembering today. If you don't have a candle, consider one of these candles lit in our lecture theater here to be for you. As we light these candles, say the name of the one you love in your heart or aloud, to pause in memory of them and to give thanks. Now I invite two bereavement nurses forward to light our candles. These candles are lit for those we love and remember today, who shone as a light in the world, who now shine amongst the stars of heaven and will shine forever in our hearts.
As I offer a short prayer now, I invite you to share in a way that is right for you. Let us pray. Mindful of the mystery that is love, within us and between us and beyond us, we come to give thanks for the lives of our loved ones. May they be surrounded forever in peace and light. May they be blessed, free from any suffering, encircled in the love that knows no end. We are thankful for that love that lives within us forever. Together we long for comfort and upholding for all who are grieving. When the dark shadows fall, may we have the courage to entrust those we love to your care, to let quietness come upon us and trust the strength of your embrace supporting us, O God. For you hold together all that is in heaven and on earth. Amen. We hear now from Jackie Smith, the chair of the board at UHB.
Hello, my name's Jackie Smith and I'm the chair of University Hospitals Birmingham NHS Foundation Trust. We're here today to remember all those people, patients and colleagues who've sadly passed away over the last year. Of course, this has been a year marked by the COVID-19 pandemic, but we've lost people for other reasons as well during this year. But in all cases, I know that the pandemic has made the grieving and the bereavement even harder. For some families, it's meant not being able to be there with your loved one at the end because of the conditions that we had to put in place to protect you and our staff. For some families, it's meant losing more than one loved one during the course of the year. And of course, it's been tough for our staff as well. Staff who've been there trying to, as far as possible, replace families as people were coming to the end of their lives. Staff who've lost patients who they've cared for over a period of time. It's been really tough for everybody, and that's why we've so much welcomed the warmth and support that we felt from the community. The messages of support, the rainbows in people's windows, and the enormously comforting projects like the Knitted Heart project, where people provided a knitted heart for somebody who had passed away and a matching knitted heart for the family so that they could feel that connection at such a sad time. And we've also benefited from the support of CRUISE. CRUISE bereavement services are there to help people going through that incredibly difficult time of bereavement. And we've been very pleased at the Trust to work alongside them in supporting people who've been bereaved this year. And of course, we have our own UHB charities to thank as well. They've helped us to improve the facilities in the end of life care areas. They've helped to provide support for bereaved families. They're there alongside us, trying to make such a terribly difficult time easier for the people who've been bereaved. This has been an incredibly tough year for everybody, but it can't have been any tougher than for those who've lost loved ones and family members. All I can say to you is that we want to share your pain, and we hope and we believe that our staff have cared and done everything that they can for you. And I very much hope that as time goes on, you'll be able to remember your loved ones with the joy of that they brought to your lives and the reassurance that they were cared for right to the end.
I heard your voice in the wind today, and I turned to see your face. The warmth of the wind caressed me as I stood silently in place. I felt your touch in the sun today as its warmth filled the sky. I closed my eyes for your embrace, and my spirit soared high. I saw your eyes in the window pane as I watched the falling rain. It seemed, as each raindrop fell, it quietly said your name. I held you close in my heart today. It made me feel complete. You may have died, but you are not gone. You will always be a part of me. As long as the sun shines, the wind blows, the rain falls, you will live on inside of me forever, for that is all my heart knows.
I greet you with salam. Salam means peace. I pray for peace for all. My name is Azim Suleiman from CSMA Birmingham. We're a charity. We provide many free services, but one of the services we provide is free bereavement support and funeral services for the Muslim community in West Midlands. But today we're here together remembering all those people who've passed away throughout the year, whether expected or comes as a shock. Bereavement is painful and taunting sometimes. Losing a loved one is not easy and is one of the most difficult things that somebody can experience in life and cope with. I know the feeling because my father passed away 34 years ago. I was only 9 years old, but till today I still remember him. My mother has been there for us as both the parents, but even though I'm old, I still remember the glimpse of him, and that will always be in my memories. And every day I try to pray for him and pray for all the people who've left the world. May they all rest in peace. But as far as I know for a fact, they are here in spirit and always be in our hearts. I know this year has been quite tough, especially during the time of COVID, when we've not been able to see our loved ones at the time of their death or their time end of life. I know we've experienced it recently with one of our relatives. It's not easy, but I know for sure the NHS, the bereavement support services provided by Cruise Bereavement and other faith community services have done the best as much as they can. I thank all the key workers, and most of all, I thank yourself. But do remember, help is always there. Do ask for help. But one thing I'm sure, as a community, we've got together and become more stronger. And we hope we say it like this. But do remember one thing, death does not look at color, age, background, or religion. We all feel it when somebody passes away. We pray for all. May all rest in peace. Amen. Salams.
Do not hurry as you walk with grief. It does not help the journey. Walk slowly. Pause often. Do not hurry as you walk with grief. Be not disturbed by memories that come unbidden. Swiftly forgive and let unspoken words, unfinished conversations be resolved in your memory. Be not disturbed. Be gentle with the one that walks with grief. If it is you, be gentle with yourself. Swiftly forgive. Walk slowly. Pause often. Take time. Be gentle as you walk with grief.
What a year this has been. And as we entered 2020, which was to be the International Year of the Nurse, we really didn't know at that point, at the turn of the year, how much would be expected of us as nurses, as support workers, as colleagues, as teammates, as friends across our trust. What we'd need to do in terms of serving our communities, what we'd need to do and be challenged to do around helping, supporting, looking after each other, and being in something together that was so unprecedented that none of us had ever experienced. We've done some amazing things as a group of people. We've done some amazing things for our communities, the people that we've helped, the people that we've recovered. And we've been there and we've supported people and been alongside them on their journey, be they patients or relatives, when there's people that we've lost, and numbers of people that we've lost that many of us have not experienced before. I reflect particularly at this time on colleagues that we've lost, and a number of colleagues that we've lost from many teams across the trust, from support services, from surgical services, from medical and ED, site teams and critical care. When we lose people, they do always stay in our heart. They remain a part of us. They remain a part of us as the people here that look after the people of Birmingham and Solihull. But it's hard and it hurts when that happens. I reflect this summer on some moments when we were able to stand still, when we were able to take a moment, when we were able to stop the hurry, and we were able to pay attention to the very real loss that we were experiencing and that friends and family members of our colleagues were experiencing. And I remember very poignantly as we've stood outside some of our hospital sites and said a last farewell to colleagues with whom we've worked, and seen there stood with such strength but such deep loss and deep hurt, their wives, their children, but how we continue to work with them and their families to ensure that they get the support that they need following that loss. I think at this time of year, it's so important that it gives us that opportunity to slow down, to take a moment, to stop the hurry, and really pause and reflect on what we've lost. And I think from my point of view, what we've all been through together, yes, it does give us strength, it gives us purpose, and we know the difference that we make to our communities. But it also is important that we pay such attention to the sadness that we feel when we lose people that are dear to us. We want to remember. It's really important that we remember, and it's really important that we do that in a way that we feel is about us at UHB and what we do. We don't want benches, we don't want carved plaques. We want to remember and name the colleagues that we've lost, but then do that through planting trees and putting something there in our ground, in our hospital premises, that is about the future, that's about strength, that's about life, that's about coming into bloom every year, and somewhere that we can take a moment and pause and stand in that shade or stand in that well-being, enriching green, and feel positive in our memories of those colleagues we've lost.
Thank you, Lisa, for that inspiring word. In a moment, you will see a series of pictures and the words of the poem In the Rising of the Sun, read to you by different members of staff from within our hospital community. At the close of this meditation, we will hold a 1-minute silence as we remember those whom we love.
In the rising of the sun and in its going down.
In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter.
In the opening of buds and the rebirth of spring.
In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of the summer.
In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn.
In the beginning of the year and when it ends.
When we are weary and in need of strength.
When we are lost and sick at heart.
When we have joys we yearn to share. We remember you.
When you walk through the storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sea, silver song of the walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain. The never walk
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sunshine warm up on your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields and until we meet again. May God hold you in the palm of his hand, and may you and all those you love be filled with peace.
This is bringing us to the close of our service today. And shortly we will hear from Andy Langford and Cruz. But first I would like to say a huge thank you to all those who have prepared this service today. Those who have taken part in any way, thank you, including those working behind the scenes. And we're so grateful to Medical Illustration and the technical support that has enabled this service to happen. You have all been amazing. Thank you also for joining today. This has made all the difference. I am aware at the end of a service, this is usually the time when we can greet one another, perhaps with a handshake or even a hug. And that is not possible this year. And part of what has made our experience more painful. But I invite you, particularly if you are viewing this on your own, just to take a moment to hold your hands so, if you're comfortable to do so, or to give yourself an embrace, or even a rub on the shoulder. And to know that you are part of this community that cares for you. Please don't hesitate to be in touch with chaplaincy or the bereavement service at UHB or with Cruz Bereavement Care if we can be of any further support to you. And I turn over now to Andy Langford, the Clinical Director of Cruz, and warmly commend this service to you.
Hello there. My name is Andy Langford, and I'm the Clinical Director for Cruz Bereavement Care. We provide emotional support for people affected by the death of someone close. We continue to work with lots of people in Birmingham and the West Midlands who need support now. It is an honour and a privilege to be part of this memorial service. I just want to start by saying that our hearts do go out to all those who have lost a loved one at this time. At Cruz, we're often amazed by the immense courage of bereaved people who are striving to cope as best they can whilst bearing with the deep losses they feel. We also want to thank all our NHS, social care and voluntary sector colleagues for all they have done over the recent months to support so many people at a time when they have needed compassion and care. Cruz Bereavement Care has been around for 60 years. We provide one-to-one support, group support, and we offer lots of support and information on our website and through social media. We also have a helpline. We've seen many more people come to seek help as a result of COVID-19. More people have lost folk who are close to them, and this understandably hurts deeply. What bereaved people are telling us is that the suddenness of death at this time can impact even more. Deaths to COVID-19 can often happen quickly, and it's not unusual to find that relatives and friends of those who are very sick and at the point of death cannot be with their loved ones in their final moments. Or when this is possible, it's often through protective equipment. And it's right to take precautions, but this, at the same time, can bring with it strong feelings that the person who has died has not had the close intimacy that they would have wanted when they were close to death. This can have a profound impact upon someone who's left behind as a result. What is more is that the rituals we usually have in place, whatever our cultural heritage and faith, to help us cope and bring us together with others affected by the same death are disrupted. This once again can bring a profound and deep sense of loneliness at a time when many of us are already feeling anxious and fearful for the health of others close to us and also for ourselves. We look forward to the prospect in months to come when we might be able to meet face to face and wonder when this season will end and we can then be together in safety. But this is an uncertain time at the moment. Often, what we have also seen at Cruise is that at this time, when things have been most difficult, people are rallying together and offering support. We have seen more people want to volunteer to help others than ever before. We have heard more tales of acts of kindness in communities, in workplaces, in schools throughout the country. People are stepping up and caring for others. It's so important to remember that despite the challenges we face, we can be in them together and we can help each other together. We have the opportunity to work and connect with many organisations that are providing much needed support, including Solihull Bereavement Service, the Marie Curie Hospice, Edward Trust, Beyond the Horizon, the Birmingham Mind Helpline, Samaritans, our colleagues in the NHS and social care, schools and special educational needs departments, and many more. Help is here if you need it. If you're watching and you're bereaved, do reach out for help when you need some. Whether it is seeking to support from someone you know you can trust, or whether it's contacting an organisation like Cruise, who are here to support. If you know of people who are struggling at this time, the challenges we face are around rallying around people and helping others, and that's so important. It's important that we do that. Even though we might not know what right words there are to say, because there often are none, it's important to be around and available. It's so valuable that we communicate to people that we're there for them and that we have the time for them and that people aren't alone in their grief. Having time to grieve is so vital, and crafting times when we can remember folk who have died is also massively important. We can do this collectively, like we are today, or we can remember those who have died in privacy, or with others who are connected with us closely. We can do this on our own. Our Majesty the Queen quoted Cruise's life president, Dr. Colin Murray Parkes, when she said that grief is the price we pay for love. It is right to feel pain and grief. Sometimes we can feel numb and shocked, but everyone is different, and grief affects us differently at different times. What this means is that, despite the challenges of grief and the context we are facing in these times, we can help and support each other. We are seeing this more and more, and it's inspiring, and it can bring great relief. So to close, we want to remember those who are no longer with us now, knowing that the memories they have left with us will remain, and we can continue to recall the stories of their lives. We need to grieve in the way that we need to, that helps us, and we can support each other in doing this too. Thank you so much once again, and very best wishes to you all.